Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Morning Leap session for Wednesday, August the 9th, 2017. My name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together in these live go-to sessions to take a look at the market, macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market, and then we drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses for the day. This is a subscription room. If you are interested in checking it out, please send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There's no website, there's no blog. This is not a commercial venture. We do everything live here in the go-to. Then we do live trading and analysis during the course of the trading day. And please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Any trades they see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. Okay, first things first. We're still in earnings. As you can see, the morning earnings sessions pretty much so far today is still decent earnings. After the market tonight, we don't have any really big ones, do we? We're starting to wind down. Most of the big ones have run. Of course, last night we had Priceline and Disney. Disney was not very good. Priceline was okay, but the stock dropped dramatically and then popped back up again. Taking a look at the economic news today, we had non-farm productivity came out as a beat. Canadian housing starts came out as a beat. A little bit of a miss here on the labor cost. The building permits in Canada was a nice beat. And then 10 o'clock, we've got wholesale inventories. And the big one today, of course, will be the crude and the gasoline and heating oil. And other than that, we've got the 10-year note auction at 1 o'clock. And that's about it for the day. Next 2 days are going to be the bigger 2 days of news coming up. Taking a look at yesterday. Yesterday, we actually had a bit of hypo 1, hypo 2, and a little bit of hypo 3 as well. We were looking for the market to go up and make new all-time highs. The opened auction in range. They came down. They had a false breakout as per. We had a hypo 1A and a hypo 1B. This basically was hypo 1B. And then we rotated up, and hypo 1A and hypo 1B had equal weight, as we're talking about. But then once we came up and made the new high and went sideways, then we continued, and this put us into our hypo 3, which was a move up into the mid 80s. What was interesting was this rotation back to the mid. That was fine. I thought we'd bounce from there and come up and chop around sideways in the 85 area. But the sell-off into the close and creation of a neutral day is showing that this could turn out to be, the first signs. I'm not saying it is. This could be the first signs of what could be the blow off top. We rotated down, created the neutral day. We did not go neutral extreme. So we still have some buyers that have stepped in, and we closed right at that 72, 75, that area we were saying was a key area to hold. Overnight, if you look at the overnight session, everything is net short, 100% net short. We opened up, we moved down. Very rare that you see this right here is the Globex gap never got closed. We have a broken profile in the Globex, which is rare to see. Basically, we went down and tested that 61 and a quarter, or 61 key line in the sand, rotated back up to the VWAP, failed to get above, and then broke down below it. And at this point in time, you would expect to retest it and then fail again, but they broke through the 61 again, came back up into that 65, tested the 59-60 area again, and again the buyers are stepping in. So even though it looks weak and we have a B-shaped profile right here, you know, this is showing some signs of weakness, but not enough to get me really, really short at the time. I am going to be looking for shorting opportunities, but I don't think we're quite there yet. Taking a look at the macro, and this is one of the reasons why I'm not completely convinced that we should be getting all our short hats on. You can see that we are still one time framing up on the monthly. I've drawn in a fork. This is a modified shift fork. And it's on the daily time frame, and I'll show you why. But you can see that it also works well with the monthly, but nowhere close to challenging the trend on the monthly. As I work my way down into the weekly, you can see again, this fork is looking pretty good. We almost came up and tested the fork on the upper fork on the weekly. We seem to be holding the center line of the fork, and certainly holding above the 9 and the 20. We've got slope and separation. The trend is still up, and we don't violate the trend until we get down to the 2450 on the weekly. Going to the daily, this is how I drew the fork. And you can see that we still are within the upper channel. We don't challenge the upper channel until we get down to that 50 level. We are breaking below the 9 and the 20 on the daily. So we are seeing some weakness, and we have come down and tested that 61, but we held. So we need to see if this pops back up, or whether or not we hold below the 9 and the 20 on the daily to see further weakness coming in with a possible move down into the lower channel of the upward sloping fork. Going to the intraday, you can see that we have broken down and have held below the 9. This move, by the way, was in my mind, has a lot to do with the comments that Trump has got in terms of, yesterday they came out, intelligence is saying that North Korea has developed a nuclear warhead that will fit inside a missile. Trump came out with his fiery fury statements, and then North Korea responded with the threats to missile and attack Guam, which is a U.S. territory near the North Korean peninsula. We've got a naked cross that we've left here at 74. If we do get above the 9, that's the target right now. A couple of the reasons why I'll show you on the composite. But in all, we are seeing a start of a downward trend on the 4-hour. On the 1 hour, you can see the same thing. We've got good slope, good separation. We've got that naked cross on the 1 hour at 76.50. So we are showing some repair. You can see the gap here on the Globex that did not get repaired, which is rare. So going to the 30-minute, we are starting to see a possible change in the trend in the 30-minute. There's a naked cross up here as well at 78. So we're trying to get above the 9 and the 20 right now. We'll see if we can get above it and hold. As we move down to the 15-minute, we are above the 9 and the 20. This is a consolidation basing pattern, so we need to hold above this 9 and 20. In the 5-minute, you can see that we've started the upward trend. On the 5-minute, we do have a bit of a tech gap. I'll move back to the 63.50 area. We'll close that gap. We do have a naked cross that we just put in down here. I took 62.75 with the test of the 61. I wouldn't be surprised if this is tested today. Okay, going to the composite. You see that we've got this possible blow off top right here. Very strong selling that came in and rotated us down. Uh, you know, 11 points on the, I'm sorry, 20 points on the rotation down. That's a big sell-off. So we did see strong responsive selling. This was a bit of a stop run, and the buyers did not step back in to hold it above that prior high at the 80.50. And then overnight, we got a continuation of this lower down to the 59 area, challenging the lower side of this balance zone. And we've got a pretty good Gaussian distribution, a little bit of a double distribution right here. You can see that this should be in here as well. You can see that in the last 8 days, we tried to hold value higher at 72. They accepted that value. They went into price discovery, made a new all-time high, but the seller stepped right back in and took us right through the two price acceptance. We did not hold at the 69.50 or the 72. Came right down to the lower side of balance, challenged the what is it? For 8-day profile and broke below and then popped right back up, and now we're coming back up. Key area to watch today is going to be the 66 area. 66 and 67 is the two value area lows. You can see we've got a little bit of overlapping value with the smaller time frame microcomposite having a slightly higher value area. So if we get back in there, I think there's a really good trade up into the 69 and 72 area. But if we fail there and fail to get back, we're going to open outside of range. So we're going to gap down today. If we fail to get above there and close that gap within the first hour, and we get below the 61, then I'll start targeting some of these lower targets. The first one being the naked close at the 58 and a quarter, and the prior microcomposite VPOC at 57.50, which is also a CHVN, and a possible move down through to the 53 area and the 51. Remember that the 51.50 was the previous all-time high in June. We've got a naked VPOC at 54. So, if we do get below the 61, my extended targets today are going to be down here in between the 51 and the 51.50 and 54 area. So let's start taking our numbers from overnight. Our overnight high is all the way up at 73 and a quarter. Our overnight low is 59. Our VPOC could shift, but I don't think it's going to. We'll have to keep an eye on it. 64.50. Our midpoint is at 66. I'm going to be watching the 66 to 67.50. So I'm going to go 66 and 67. So that encompasses both the 67.50 and 66.50, and I'll be watching that area for possible price rejection. There's really not much else to look at from overnight except for the gap. The gap is all the way up at 71. Our value area is 69. It should be 69.50. So I'm going to be watching this 69.50 area because that's the microcomposite VPOC, the most traded price, the most highest price acceptance. But it's also going, if we get above it, I'm looking for this little gap to get closed out at the 71, and I'd be targeting 71 and the 72 as my areas to be concerned. Now, we've opened in the 74s, the last, I don't know how many days, 5 days. So I'm going to be using this area, yesterday's open, as an area as possible rejection. But if we get above it, then we're back into our action for the last 5 days, and I'll be targeting the 77, 75, 78 area. With the 80.50 as the prior all-time high. I retested it from below. And, whoops, this should be not August, July, because that's when we put it in. And then above that, I'm targeting the 86.25, and then our all-time high at 88. We still have a measured move. Our daily ATR didn't expand much, even with the action yesterday. We're still at 1231, so off of the 59 overnight plus 1231. 71.25 is our daily upside ATR target. Seeing a little bit convoluted up here. Okay, and then off of the high overnight of 73.25. We've already basically gone down and challenged it already. It is at 61. Funny how that is, eh? Our daily downside ATR target is right on our key line in the sand. So if we get below it again, we're looking for range expansion, and that is possible when you get neutral. We have violated the one-time framing up that we were. If you look at these, last 4 days we were one-time framing up, and we came down and violated the one-time framing. But not only that, is that overnight we took back, okay, these 8 days, okay, and got below, and we're only coming back up into them now. We are going to get a gap, so the half gap, if we open right here at 64.25, and our close at 72.75. Our half gap fill is going to be 68.25. And then again, it's approximate because, whoops, it's approximate because we're not open yet. All right, so levels below don't change. So what are my hypotheses for the day? We are seeing some weakness overnight. We've got a possible blow off top. So I start putting weight and looking for some repair work to be done below. So I'm looking for an open auction out of range. I'm looking for responsive buyers up to challenge the 66, 67 area. And then somewhere between there and the 69.50, I'm looking for initiative sellers to step in and rotate us down, challenge that 61 and take out the overnight low. And then come down and test some of these levels down here and see some weakness coming in the market today. That is hypo 1. Hypo 2 is an open auction out of range, a move down, either a failure to break back below the 61 or a break and a takeout of the overnight high, finding responsive sellers, rotating us back up into the 66, 67 area, chopping around in this area, and then pushing back up into closing the gap, and then closing and chopping around inside of yesterday's distribution and closing somewhere around the 69.50 area. Hypo 3 is gap rules, a gap and go, failure to close the gap, and then find initiative sellers, rotate us down, chop between the 58 and the 61, and then push down into the 54 to 51, chop around in this area with a possible late day probe down. We do have to test the weekly downside ATR. Our high of the week, of course, is our all-time high at 88.50. Our weekly 20-period full session weekly is running at 33.325. So our weekly downside ATR is up at 55. So if we get below there, then we're below that average true range in the weekly. And then hypo 4 is going to be a responsive buying up into the 67 to 69 area, chop around here, push through, come up and chop in the 72, and then take out the overnight high and come back and push through and come back into the 78 area, between 78 and that prior all-time high in July of the 80.50. There is a fifth alternative, and the fifth alternative is sideways consolidation as we fill in the profile, okay, between the 67 and the 57, and we chop in this area, fighting that 61, and basically going sideways, below the prior day range. So those are my hypotheses. Gold got a fire set underneath it last night. You can see that we came down, tested the lower side of this balance around the composite VPOC and exploded back up. We accepted that 75 and they pushed up into the 80. The key level to watch to hold today is going to be that 77 to 75 area. If they can hold that, I'm looking for them to push through up into the 85 and basically chop around here and close somewhere between 85 and the 79 area. If they don't hold the 77, look for them to come down, test that 75, 60. If they don't hold it, look for 74 and a possible push back into the 71 to 72 area. I'm not expecting much more weakness to come in on gold today. We're in price discovery and pretty strong move. Another key level is going to be this 80-30. If we get back above there, I'd be looking for the push into the 85-70. So that's going to complete our pre-market session. Sorry it was a little long today. As always, trade well, trade safe, and catch you on the flip side. If you do like this video, please hit the like button so we can get some more coverage on YouTube. Thank you.